This is the Creative Boom Podcast with your host, Katie Cowan. My next guest is Gavin Strange. By day, he's a director and designer for the brilliant Aardman animations in Bristol. You know, the people behind Wallace and Gromit and Shaun the Sheep. And by night, he's a passion project pursuer, or so he calls himself, where he indulges in side projects from filmmaking to toy design, illustration and photography. You could definitely say that this dedicated attitude to learning was the reason why Gavin ended up at Aardman. He's written a book called Do Fly, which covers this very theme. He's a keynote speaker too, and if you follow him on social media, you'll know he's super lovely and hugely supportive of the creative community, sharing everything he's learned along the way. I popped along to Aardman to finally meet Gavin in person, as we've been friends on Twitter for probably a decade, and we sat down in the studio's cinema room to talk about his creative life and work. I'm here with my next guest, Gav Strange at Aardman. Hello.
Hiya.
Hi, thanks for welcoming me to this amazing building.
Thanks for letting me be a part of your wonderful podcast. I've been listening to it loads.
Oh, have
it's
you?
Really yeah, I've listened to them all, and it's really nice seeing the reaction to people just connecting with it, which is ace, and obviously knowing you and knowing Creative Boom and stuff. So it is my pleasure, and welcome to Bristol.
Thank you very much. I love Bristol. Bristol's always been really good to me. I used to have some friends who came to university here, so Bristol to me has always been kind of like the party town, because we'd come down and get very messy, and it was always like drum and bass nights and things like that.
Yeah, Bristol music scene. I think that's what I love about it. There's so many different scenes: music, art, graffiti, design, filmmaking, all of that. And then you've got the institutions like the BBC and Aardman, and it's this mad mix. I think that's what's interesting about Bristol. It's a mad mix of all sorts of people and places and cultures and all the good stuff.
How did you get to work here then? What's the story of you joining this
Getting
lovely
a dream
place?
job.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll give you a really quick potted history, because I can go into great depth, but long story short, I was quite a bad graphic design student at college. I didn't go to university, but I wanted to get into the industry, and I got taken on by a design agency in Leicester who were looking for a junior designer. Mm-hmm. And that's where it all changed for me. At college, I just was middle of the road. I was neither terrible, but I was neither good. And I didn't really have any confidence or find my voice. I knew I loved graphic design and art and everything. And I also loved film and illustration and all of that stuff. I loved everything, and I couldn't really focus too well. Yeah. But it was getting this job as a junior designer that really gave me a confidence for, wow, maybe I could do this. So I was 17 at the time, not doing the uni thing and being slightly younger. It just blew my mind that someone gave me their confidence and their trust. And basically it was there at this first job as a junior that I received training on the job, realistic training in the industry. Even though it was a small agency, I got to see all the different facets of it. But it was my boss at the time who encouraged me to basically go home and learn more about the things that he was teaching me during the day. He said, I'm teaching you loads of stuff. You kind of need to really get stuck into this. You really need to get stuck into this, and suggested that I create my own website to start having a play with, basically, because he was teaching me web design. I'd started with graphic design, but he wanted me to be a web designer. And it being the year 2000, it was, the web was new and interesting and weird. And he encouraged me to go home and create my own website. And so I desperately wanted a super cool name and couldn't think of one. So I just in a domain search for Jam, or I don't know, Factory. Oh, it's free. And I bought the domain. And that place basically became my sort of online portfolio, my online space to just try my hand at everything and anything. So then I basically was doing that for 4 years. I was working during the day, learning loads and loads and loads at this design agency in Leicester.
I can imagine you doing that.
Oh, I just loved it. I just loved that someone gave me their trust and attention and excitement and sort of placed it in me, which was just so, it blew my mind. It still does blow my mind. And that sort of encouraged me further to go home at night and just, there was no rules. There was no one to tell me yes or no, or do that or don't do that, and make terrible Photoshop art. But I loved it, and I was so proud of it because I'd made it from scratch. You know that simple feeling. Obviously, watching you play piano more and more. That feeling of real time creation of.
I love it.
Of you have done something, create something, put it into the world.
You feel really proud of yourself, don't you?
Yeah, and it's weird because I think some people feel a little ashamed or embarrassed to feel that pride. Yeah. And I think maybe sometimes people confuse pride with arrogance or pride with ego. I definitely think you can have pride pride in that. How you show that pride to the world is when you could stray into arrogance if that's, you know, something you're worried about. But generally not. People are happy to see other people taking pride and enjoyment in their work. So I did that more and more, and the more I did in my own time, the more I wanted to do, and I fed that into my own work until 4 years later. With 4 years experience, I decided to go self-employed, and that was encouraged by a friend of mine who ran a skate store in Leicester called Casino that I frequented a lot because I was a skateboarder, and he knew that I was doing lots of stuff in my own time, side projects, and he just planted the seed and basically offered me the role. He said, look, I think you should go and work for yourself because you clearly want more than is just being offered at your job. How about you go freelance, but I give you 3 days work a week, and you can have an office above the skate shop next to mine, and the other 2 days it's totally up to you. And as a 23-year-old, 24-year-old or something, no, 20.
That's young.
20, I was like, oh my God. Oh, 21. So I was 21. Yeah, of course.
Good
I was
grief.
21. So, oh my God, yes. An office above a skate store, of course. Which was just an absolute nightmare because I basically spent all of my earnings buying new skateboards and buying new shoes. But again, it's all, why not? You know, life's too short not to at that point.
Yeah.
So that even more so meant that I was still doing stuff in my own time, but because I was now freelance, that portfolio represented everything I could do. And I was doing predominantly bread and butter digital design work. But, you know, my roots in graphic design and my love for photography and illustration, characters and clothing and everything, I would basically just bolster my portfolio with everything I was doing at night and just presenting it as one holistic thing, going, my name's Gavin Strange, I go under the name of Jam Factory, here's what I do.
Yeah.
And for years, no one gave me any extra work for the extra sort of things in my portfolio. It still was digital design. But slowly over the time, with clients that I'd worked with that I was doing digital design stuff for, they'd go, oh, you do characters as well, right?
Oh,
and
interesting.
then I'd so it just like additional bits on the side. It was never this big commission. It was never this big brand out of nowhere would just offer me a thing. It was these splinter projects that were great because it was safe in a sense of I had a relationship with a client and it was nice that I could sort of nurture that and discover what kind of illustrator I could be or what kind of photographer I could be with the extra bits. And then, but like anything, you know, then your portfolio gets stronger because you've got the work there. And that's the thing, right? And people, it doesn't matter when or why you did a thing. In the creative industries, you're only as good as your last piece of work. What is it that you've done? And that's it. They don't care when.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
that continued. And in the process, I moved to Bristol. So I was freelance for 4 years, moving to Bristol in the process, loving the city, doing predominantly digital design during the day, but going home at night and doing everything and anything, getting more and more involved in film.
I can imagine you don't stop.
I think it's, you know, when you get that excitement, it's like anything, momentum. And I think this is the hardest thing, isn't it? When you want to try and do something new or try and do something different in your life, actually doing the thing, the sort of actual physical tasks aren't that difficult, but gaining the momentum is massive. It's incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
And I think because from an early age, I just had that push, basically, my boss going, go on, just do it because you should. You need to, you know, really, you need to learn. It just was a, sort of this cycle that just gave me a little boost in confidence, a little boost in energy every time I do something. And I made sure I did stuff quickly as well. I didn't really spend too long on passion project-y side things, you know, an evening, a week. That was really as long as it got, because it just meant that I wanted to make more work more frequently and learn from that rather than try and do something too ambitious because I just kind of knew that I wouldn't finish it. So that built and then I moved to Bristol in the process and I had a few clients here, and then out of the blue I just got an email one day that said hello from Aardman.
Oh,
and
just like that.
Stopped in my tracks. I was like, oh my god. Aardman, well, it's spelt with 2 A's. It's got to be the Aardman. You know, I didn't know if it was a prank or whatever. And it was an email from a lovely human called Dan Efagan, who basically said, and I remember it because he found the email in his inbox a couple of weeks ago and forwarded it to me, and he still had it. It was basically a speculative, hi Gavin, I found your work. We're working on a big project. I'm a new member of the interactive team here at Aardman, and we're looking to work with a digital designer. Do you want to pop in for a cup of tea? That was 12 years later, and I've never left.
Oh, my goodness.
And it was just amazing. The fact that I just got very fortunate that basically I came to see Dan, and this interactive team, which was predominantly making websites and flash games for Wallace and Gromit, Shaun the Sheep, it was a new department. So I joined as maybe the 5th person, maybe, or 6th, and sort of grew with that team. And now 12 years on, we've made console
look
games.
at what you're doing now.
And then within 10 years, I've then transitioned to being a director.
Yeah.
Because that's my title. I'm director and designer here, and I basically we'll go into this in another bit. But I amplified and made sure I did as much filmmaking as I could, because I knew this place is obviously just filled with amazing, creative, inspiring people who I could learn from. And my ambition for passion project film stuff just increased, because I could, rather than doing one thing in a night, I do like graphics or illustrations in a night, but the film projects became bigger and bigger, and I started meeting more people and collaborating on the side, and that got more ambitious. And then I got connected with people here at Aardman who gave me their time and energy and expertise, and then basically I transitioned to then making filmmaking part of my everyday job.
That's an incredible journey.
I love it. I'm just so fortunate. And I think that's why I get so excited about it, because I feel like I hope lots of people can identify with being young, with being unsure of yourself, with just kind of thinking, well, that kind of cool, interesting stuff happens to other people. It doesn't happen to me. I never thought that. I was just stoked that I had a job as a junior designer. I couldn't believe that someone had let me get into the profession. I was so thrilled with that. It wasn't sort of, I'm deeply unhappy. I was very happy, because it's also, I think, very easy to get sucked into. You enter the world of design, you read all the magazines and you look at all the websites, and everyone gets a Nike job. Everyone gets a Coca-Cola campaign. That's not how commercial creativity works, right? It's generally, you do work for other people, and it might not be glamorous, it might not be X, Y, and Z, but you are still being paid to be creative for someone else. That's the job. The big shiny awards, the big shiny clients, I feel like is a very, very small percent, but it's easy to lure yourself into, well, if I'm not doing the big awards and I'm not doing the big clients, I'm a failure. Actually, I think it's taking comfort and solace in, no, it's the real bones of it is design and creativity for other people. And if your client's happy, that's it, But I just got very fortunate that I could then...
you had this big break.
A massive break. And that was just... I've never actually asked Dan. So Dan's one of my closest friends now. And it's great as he's progressed here at Aardman. He's very senior, and he's a very well-respected, loved human. He's awesome. I've never kind of asked him what made him send the email. I think because I was sort of spamming all the creative outlets in Bristol. I just made sure that whenever I made a new piece of work, I'd use every network to get it out there, to sort of share it, put it in front of people's eyeballs, and then move on to the next thing.
That's what it takes, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of voices, right? There's 8 billion squillion people on the planet, and a lot of them are creative, and a lot of them want to do what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of no use taking a back seat.
Not everybody knows that, though. Sometimes people just expect things to come to them, I guess.
And sometimes I do, I guess. And I think if you're super fortunate that your work or your voice or you are incredibly unique, then things will come to you, and that's amazing. But I don't think you can bank on that. And I did know, I think maybe coming from an average start, that I'm not, those opportunities aren't going to pass me by. I've got to work for them. I've got to put my hand up. I've got to shout. I've got to make the stuff. And
got to fight for it.
Yeah, exactly. Which is also great, because it keeps you healthy and it keeps your brain engaged, and you want to be better and you want to do more. And I feel like I'm doing exactly the same thing as I did 20 years ago. Have my job that I love. I want to do good stuff for good people, and then I want to learn more and get better at night, and then I want to filter that into my day job. And I'm so fortunate that I can still do that.
Yeah, definitely. And so what was your childhood like? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Leicester, in the Midlands, in the East Mids.
Yeah.
It was lovely. I had a very nice childhood. My mum and dad are very loving and giving and sharing. I've got a younger brother who's 6 years younger than me, who's very, very bright and smart and academic. And I am not at all. But we were really tight growing up. We were really close. My mum and dad always... I wouldn't say they were nervous about a creative career. It was more just because I never showed... I was a little unsure of where to go, and I didn't really know what the world could offer. Careers advisors back in the day, right, were
my God, yeah,
very useful. You're either a plumber or a doctor, or, they were quite limited.
Yeah.
And I think the main thing I remember is I think my mum and dad just thought, well, as long as you're moving towards something, as long as you're not staying stagnant, please just do something.
Yeah.
Don't just waste your time and waste energy and not do anything. Just move towards something. And I think they were quite nervous with moving into design. It's not my dad's an engineer. Well, he's a retired engineer now, but he's a very, very good artist, very an amazing sort of draftsman and an artist. And I always remember asking him as a kid just to draw stuff. Can you draw a fox? Can you draw a badger? Can you I wanted him to draw all the time, but I don't know if he got the encouragement from his parents when he was younger, so he didn't go down that path.
Because those creative careers weren't probably...
No.
They probably didn't exist as much back then.
No, and I guess it's the visibility of, well, what are you going to do with that? I think it was a bit of a different time. So they never discouraged me from anything, but I think deciding not to go to university, but then also not having a plan, worried them slightly. But I always felt like they were there, and my mum especially sort of put the pressure on, but in a really loving way. It was sort of, just, come on, just make a decision. And now I feel like I try and make decisions quite quickly. Just make a decision. It might not be the right one, but you can adjust it and change it at any time, right? Just make a decision and then deal with it and then go. And I feel like actually that's my mum's doing. That's my mum's conditioning of just get on with it. Go. Okay, mum.
Yeah, and I can see you don't sit still in your chair. You're kind of like, right, what's next? Let's do it.
I just feel like, as well, my position here, I just feel so damn fortunate. I wouldn't ever take it for granted because people would kill for a role like this.
Oh yeah,
so
they would.
I cannot become complacent. Luckily,
this is where I reveal this is why I'm really here. I'm here to replace you. And any minute now, your boss is going to walk in and say, "So, she told you the news."
It's been a good service, but it's time to go out now. Go, damn it. Yeah, I love it. I really love it. And I don't ever want to take it for granted. I hope, and I felt like that at every stage of my career because, again, it's just, God, we could be doing real work, couldn't we? But we're not.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like work.
No,
I mean, I'm here doing this with you, and it's, a dream come true for me to be sat in Aardman.
But things get tough, right? Like always, don't they?
Yeah.
And it becomes mentally draining, and it might not be physically taxing. But it stress is stress in whatever form it takes. But I guess it's always up to you as a human being to sort of decide how to deal with that and how to go forwards.
I suppose you don't miss freelancing too much working in a role like this.
No, not really.
The thing is, if you were going to sort of give up running your own business, then this would be the role that you would do it for, right?
Yeah, and it was. And funnily enough, a good friend of mine called James Klinger, who's an artist in Glasgow, when I told everyone that I got offered the job, everyone says, "Oh my God, that's amazing, that's amazing." And he was the only person who was he wasn't negative, he was just getting me to think about the other side of it.
Playing devil's advocate for you.
Basically. And I'm really glad he did, because I have a Jam Factory tattooed on my wrist. And he said, it's a really great opportunity, but you've got a Jam Factory written on your wrist, not an Aardman star. And I was like, that's a really good point, and what that meant was I was a little worried that if I'm assimilated into Aardman, I would lose my own personal identity. Yeah. And not that anyone else in the world knew what my personal identity was, but I was still proud that I'd forged it. No one knew what a Jam Factory was, but it was still sort of me. And I was nervous, thinking, okay, that is going to happen. There's got to be a trade-off, with everything, isn't it? There's always compromise, always.
You can't have everything.
You can't. It's impossible. And so I thought, okay, that's going to have to be the compromise. But so fortunate for me, Dave Sproxton and Peter Lord, who are founders of Aardman, are not that type of business owners
not corporate
all. No, they if anything they encourage me to be Jam Factory. They encourage the side projects. Great. And a great example that I give, because it just blows my mind, is I did a toy launch for a thing called Droplets maybe 10 years ago now.
Yes.
Little vinyl toys, and I had a launch in Bristol on Park Street, probably that big hilly street that you walk down. Yeah. And people were queuing outside before it opened, and I couldn't believe it. And a friend, I was inside panically getting things ready, and she grabbed me and she says, you're going to need to come outside and see this is a queue. Wow. I was like, shut up. No, there's not. She's like, there's a queue going up Park Street. Shut up. And then she pulled me outside, because I just kept saying, shut up. No, there's not. And she took me outside, and there was a queue of very kind people waiting to come in, which was ace. And then she just pointed in the distance and she went, and that's Peter Lord in the queue right there. And I was like, what? And I went up to him and went, Pete, you're the king of Bristol. What are you doing? You don't need to queue. And kindly enough, he'd heard about the event, because I was banging on about it at work. And he says, I just wanted to come down and support, check it out.
Nice bloke.
And sort of since then, me and my wife did a thing called Strange. We had our own little online business. Pete and his family came, check that out.
Oh, that says a lot about a person, doesn't it?
It really
if they're going to go and stand in a queue, they're surely
It was just, and it meant so much. It meant so much that I felt encouraged. I felt that they saw the value in you. You know, you're not the individual you are between 9 and 5. You are the sum total of your 24 hours, right? So I felt that they really respected that, encouraged that, and then of course that has the brilliant benefit of course you then want to give everything to that place. You know, I want to give everything to Aardman because they support me being everything that I am. You know, and I guess I understand why businesses get a little nervous about kind of putting trust in their employees because you then can't control them, in inverted commas. And I kind of get that if it's all about the bottom line and it's all about productivity, if you let people do what they want as humans. But
the thing is,
it's so simple.
If you could sort of, if there could be stats that are put together somewhere with the amount of people, how long they stay at a place.
Yes, exactly.
Compared to, you know, how it's run.
It's not uncommon for people to be here 20 years plus.
I'm not surprised.
We have when there's a 20-year anniversary, Jo on reception, who you met, she on the phone, she does a tannoy announcement around the whole building saying, "Oh, if you'd like to come down to the atrium for coffee and cake, we're celebrating the 20-year anniversary of so and so." You know, and that's just a common occurrence. There's Peter Peake, who's another director who I sit very close to. He's been here 27 years.
That's amazing. That says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you're going to job interviews, that would be the one. If I was going to go and get a job again, I'm not never saying never. I would probably ask that. I would say, how long has everybody worked here? Yeah. What's your longest serving?
Yeah, because if your turnaround is 6 months, average, you're like, okay.
Goodbye. I'm out the door.
Yeah, it's quite weird. But then on another podcast, you guys were talking about you don't think you'd go back to freelance, right?
Oh no, I am freelance. I wouldn't go back to employment. Well, I say that because I don't like being told what to do, but then it would be different in this scenario, I think. If somebody approached me and said, "We think you'd be great working for our studio," and they were doing amazing things like this in exactly the same situation you were in, I mean, it would be very hard to say no.
I suppose that's the thing. You never know what the situation is, do you? You think, okay, I'm happy in my role, and I was really happy with freelance, and I'm really glad I did it. I learned loads about myself. I made all the mistakes, realised how terrible I am at financing and accounting and keeping track on it. But also, I think you have
spending
to do
it all on skateboarding.
Yeah, basically spending all the money on toys and skateboards. You realise what your weaknesses are, and actually what things that you think, I know I'm weak at it, but I also don't want to get better. It's just, I'm just not interested in being better at that. So I think that was all those things added up to, I'm really glad I've got the full-time employment because it just lets me focus on making stuff. That's why I'm terrible at emails, because in the evenings, I've only got a few hours, and I think I could either reply to emails or I could make something. Yeah. And I always err towards making something because I just get more out of it, really.
Well, emails are a bit soulless sometimes, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's lovely. Don't get me wrong. It's lovely to talk to people, isn't it? But
do you get bombarded? Do you get a lot?
No, because I don't reply to them. They're like, he's very rude.
Wish I could do that. Oh, gosh.
No, not really. No. I mean, I've got at the minute, some lovely sort of things happening, little collaborations for people, but no, generally not. Just, that thing of everyone does it. You see the email, you've read it, and in your brain, you've mentally processed it. So you go, that means I've replied.
Yes, I do that sometimes. And then people, give you a nudge and you'll be like, oh, sorry.
But nudges are great. Yeah,
nudges
I think people definitely should nudge more because...
I do like your out of office, by the way.
I've had that for years now,
That's brilliant.
So people who are listening, I've basically just got an automatic reply on all the time that isn't I'm on holiday. It's I'm really sorry, I'm very slow at emails. Please give me if it's really urgent, give me a nudge on Twitter or Instagram, but I'm slow at email, so I apologise. And it's really helped because people, I think sometimes opportunities have gone away because they go, oh, that person's not really around. But I think it's
That's
sort of
a nice way to be.
Just a bit of an apology first and foremost. Otherwise, then it is just
you're a busy guy.
2 weeks later. Well, it's just, I mean, everyone's busy, aren't they? That's the thing. You've always got to fill your time with something. And
you are exactly how I imagined you would be in real life.
Short.
Because I didn't imagine that. I wasn't going to say that. I mean, bearing in mind I am 6 foot, which is, quite tall for a woman. How tall are you?
Oh, about 3 foot? No, 5'7", I think.
Yeah.
I think I was about 3 foot until I was about 15, and then had a growth spurt overnight and became 5'7", and then I've never grown taller.
What size shoe are you?
8.
8. I'm 9.
Are you?
I am. And by the way, I have a lot of I have the skate community to thank for getting me through my teenage years, because back in the 90s, there weren't really many shoes for women that were my sort of size. So I just lived in skate shoes.
I was about to say, Vans, Etnies, all of the brands.
All really comfy.
Yeah.
And thankfully really trendy, so I never felt like a geek.
Nice. Well done, skateboard brands.
Yeah, exactly.
Nailed it.
I mean, on Twitter, the way you come across and on all social media, you're very kind, very generous. You've always got time for everyone.
Oh,
I mean,
thanks,
you're
mate.
a really, really nice guy.
Oh.
And it's really lovely to meet you. And I'm not gushing or anything.
Stop it, you.
I'm not gushing. But I think there are a lot of people out there who are listening to this and will be nodding along and agreeing. But it's so refreshing.
Oh.
Because, you know, there's loads of really nice people on Twitter. But you keep, to me, when sometimes Twitter can get a bit dark, I will sometimes literally go and move to Gavin's world. Because I'll say, he's like supporting these people and he's doing this, that and the other. And I'll just sort of dip in. And
that's so nice.
Where's that come from? Where's this kindness come from?
A reaction to the darkness, I think. This world's heavy, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
I mean, I think there's loads of things. I think I make a conscious choice to be as positive as I can be on Twitter. I do dip. I used to be famous for ranting about politics and stuff, but this year I've made a conscious effort. I've actually not even I've got all the mute words in Twitter, but I've also now just blocked accounts. So even because there's one thing, it's not following an individual or particularly an outspoken person like Piers Morgan or Trump or whatever, or Kate Hopkins. But then when people quote tweet them, you still see it, which is bizarre. So I've had to block it. So even then, I don't even get that. Yeah. So I'm just trying to actively work to filter out all of that stuff. I've actually, on a regular basis, on a weekly basis, I write tweets and delete them. And it's always a bit of a moan. It's generally about politics or this.
I do that.
And it's stuff I really believe in because I just want the world to be kinder and fairer and more inclusive to everyone. But I just almost don't then want to put the negative stuff out because it's already being said. I know that it's not a new take. That
I mean, we all feel that
kindness.
way.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like me having a bit of a moan, it's almost for everyone else and for my own headspace. And I sort of do it with sort of the stuff I consume. So I don't watch or consume anything heavy. Like I can't watch horror. I can't watch any emotional drama stuff. I can't watch anything that's generally anything that's dark. And people laugh at me here because my first question is, is it a bit grisly? Is it a bit dark? Is it a bit somber? I just can't. I'm just really sensitive, and I just. Like sort of lots of people talking about Marriage Story, you know, with Adam Driver.
I've not seen that.
I've not seen it. It is. You couldn't pay me enough money to watch it, and the reason being is that's about a marriage breaking down. That happens all the time. I don't need to be reminded. I know it's fiction, but I don't want to spend 2 hours of my life seeing people emote in a really devastating way. I know the heavy stuff happens and I don't want reminding. I want to live in the world of Nintendo. I want to just watch Studio Ghibli, Aardman. This is the other thing about Aardman. I feel like I'm at home.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm at home for the sort of stuff I want to make. I want to make stuff that's charming and warm and affecting and connects with people on a simple level.
Oh, it makes me cry, some of the things this studio puts out.
Oh, it's amazing, you know,
wonderful.
And that's it. I think everyone's got a genuine love and want to make stuff that connects with people. And I think that I just do. If I could be remembered for anything, and when I snuff it, it's hopefully being kind and hopefully making stuff that's kind and fun and silly and goofy. So it's all.
And makes a difference as well, because your latest project was amazing. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so the latest project was a film for Greenpeace. It was an absolute dream project in every single way, even in the way of I don't think I would ever get a project like it because it was just too good. It was a collaboration with Greenpeace. Greenpeace approached Aardman to want to tell a emotional story using animation. That was really the open brief. It's about protecting the oceans because there's the UN are meeting to discuss a global ocean treaty, which is basically cordoning off areas of the ocean to protect species that are living there and to encourage regrowth. So that's happening in spring, and they knew they wanted to make a piece of content to encourage that.
Yeah.
And they came to Aardman, and it was like, tell us your stories. They gave us some hints that animals that are particularly affected in this are whales, turtles, eels, sharks, and some species of birds. And lots of directors pitched in their ideas, and I threw in my idea, which was about a family of turtles going home after a long journey, and it was sort of modelled on the journeys that everyone's made with their family, stuck on the M5 on a bank holiday Monday, trying to get home. Traffic's not moving anywhere. Everyone's talking over each other. Everyone's tempers are a bit frayed. Kind of wanted that real human aspect, but portrayed in animation.
Yeah.
So I luckily won the job to tell the story.
Amazing.
Which just even just winning the gig was just fantastic. And basically it was a mixture of stop frame animation and computer generated environment. So the puppets, the characters, which is a family of 5 turtles, mum, dad, toddler, daughter, who's filming this whole thing play out on her phone. So you're seeing it from the viewpoint of the phone, and teenager in the back as well. And it was only 100 seconds long, took 70 people in total, 3 months full time to do it, for 100 seconds.
With you directing?
With me directing. Just with an incredible voice cast. We had Olivia Colman as the mum, David Harbour from Strange Things as the dad, Bella Ramsey from Game of Thrones as a daughter, Ahir Shah the comedian as the teenager, and an awesome 4-year-old called Callie, who is the daughter of a producer here at Aardman.
Oh, that's
gave
amazing!
The best performance.
And they all came here.
No, so the only 3 people I met was Ahir Shah, I met him in Bristol, was Bella Ramsey, I met her in London, and Olivia Colman, I met her in London. David Harbour was done over the phone in a meeting room here, him in New York, me here.
Yeah.
Helen Mirren was a grandma, that was done over the phone.
Oh.
Jim Carter was done remotely because he had a few lines. We had a remote recording artist go to get him. So it was all over the shop, and it was just the chance to make something both funny and warm and charming, and that was a big remit from Greenpeace. We want the first half of the film to kind of lure people and trick them, really, that I'm seeing something familiar, Aardman, and it's warm and it's charming and it's natural dialogue with animated clay characters, and then as the story twists you see that there's a tragic ending. So for me to tell something funny but then hopefully emotional and impactful and powerful.
I was going to say, this goes against everything
we
were talking about before.
Which is the thing, it's about making something, but then to get the opportunity to make something that, for a really important cause.
It is an important message.
You know, my thing was, you know, when a natural disaster happens, when it happens to humans, we are sort of outraged and we're sickened and we just empathise so much because you see the families on TV who are just distraught and in tears, and you see the destruction that it ravages on communities, on individuals, on families, on locations, environments, cities. But then all the time we see these terrible things happen to animals and we kind of go, oh, that's sad. That disconnection to me is really weird when we're all part of the same planet. So my sort of pitch to Greenpeace was using a human take on a human tragedy, but showing it happen to the animals, because I think people will hopefully connect with that. And then the other thing that was a real guiding principle was, you know, when you watch a documentary, and it's and if it's on a sad subject or sometimes you're just watching a documentary and you don't entirely know what's happening, and then a person who you've previously been watching for, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes is talking, and then they get to a part where their voice starts to wobble and they pause and they swallow that lump in their throat and they just look off camera and their eyes moisten, and it gets you because your heart goes.
Your eyes are going now.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about it, and I've watched lots of them, and you're like, oh God, and it's real connection. It's a real natural human empathy. I wanted that. So I want that in clay.
Yeah.
If we can,
you made me cry.
And oh man, and so we did. We had an incredible animator called Inez who animated that shot. So I won't ruin it for people listening. Please do search Turtle Journey by Greenpeace on the internet to find it, and hopefully this will all make sense. But you know, getting that performance, getting to tell that story was just so important to me, and I just kind of can't believe that it happened it was all just like
It's surreal.
like a surreal dream, and it connected with people, which was lush. I genuinely thought, when sort of shared it out there, because I've been teasing that I've been working on the secret project, which I always tweet about, which must be incredibly annoying for everyone.
No, not at all.
I'm working on a secret project, can't tell you anything. When I sort of said, here it is, I'm so proud of this, to work with Greenpeace here at Aardman, that we've made this film. I genuinely thought tweets back would be, oh my God, you've got Olivia Colman, that's amazing. And not a single one was. Every person was talking about the emotion and the heartbreak and the charm. And
that's what you want.
I'd never thought that it would come, because I think that there's a lot that happens in that film. So to tell that story was just so powerful, so important to me.
And how long did it take to make again?
3 months, full time, 70, big crew of 70 people.
That's incredible.
The animators averaged about a second and a half a day. And that's fast. That's quite fast.
Gosh.
And we had some the top tier animators who just all come off the latest feature films, and because they believed in Greenpeace and believed in the message, they kind of came and jumped on the project as well, because then generally on projects for years at a time, but they came and joined us. There was about 5, the animation part, stop frame part, took about 5 weeks.
Gosh.
And I did this thing called Labs for every shot. Lab is a live action video, and it's a chance for a director to, you've already got the voices, we've already got them in the bag, we've got them recorded, and we've got things sort of timed out, but then you film yourself basically performing what you'd like the animator to achieve in tone, I guess. You're not saying copy it, you're kind of saying this is a guide, because obviously how you say hello, you can say hello upbeat, you can say hello, you can say it down, and your physical body is different, right? It's you're up, you're bright, you're projecting, or your
shoulders are back.
Yeah, exactly. It's your physicality is a big part of it. So I did one of those for every shot, for every character. And because we had 4 characters in frame at any time, sometimes 5, it'd become a bit of a mad mess. And it was really fun to do. I sort of learned loads about myself, trying to be a better performer, trying to think about what would be useful for the animators to see. And all that stuff was super fun, the early shots. And then as I started getting towards the heavy stuff, it's like, oh God, I've got to laugh this.
Yeah.
So that shot with Dad,
yes,
swallowing tears, I had to just lock myself away in a room here. And there's a few sort of films, there's a few scenes that really get me. And I just had them on loop, and I had them in my AirPods, and I was just rolling. Oh my God. And then I had to edit that together myself and pick the best takes. And it's just the most surreal thing. I've got massive screens on my desk. And so if anyone's walking by, they must just think I'm the worst narcissist, because I'm staring at myself really big, but scrubbing through frame by frame as when does the tear leave my eye? When do I look most devastated? Maybe that. And it was very surreal. And then I had to then give that video to Inez, the animator, and go, who we're friends, like, hey, this video of me just looking really sad and devastated and grieving for the loss of my partner? Yeah, can you animate that, please? Anyway, I leave you in a dark room for 2 weeks. Bye!
You still friends?
It was, I mean, when she finished the shot, she left the animation unit and she just went, I really hope you like it, because I can't do that again. It really affected her. She's got a young daughter. Yeah. And so, the conversations that you're having about the performers is, you've lost your partner.
Do you know, it's interesting. I've never thought about how it would affect the people making a scene like that. It's interesting. You just completely turn the perspective around for me. It seems so obvious now, and I feel like an idiot for not thinking about it. But
it's weird, isn't it? So like actors as well. Actors maybe live action. You've got to go to a
dark
heavy place,
a
really heavy place, and you kind of got to draw an experience. And obviously we've all lost people. I haven't lost a partner. I haven't had that level of grief, but I think that's what empathy is, right? You don't have to have the thing happen to you to empathise for the people. So it just felt like actually always being an emotional soppy sod paid dividends 20 years later, 37 years later, to have a project like that. So
it's amazing.
It was so, I could talk about it all day, but it was just
I love hearing
special,
about it.
So special, and so grateful to the universe for aligning things, and for Greenpeace for wanting to work together. So
well, any big fans of you and Aardman will be really happy to have listened to that, because, we don't often see or hear about what happens behind the scenes and how much work's involved.
Well, I'm a big fan of the process. I documented everything because I'm as much as a filmmaking fan, as a creative fan as anyone else, and sort of in awe of all these people doing what they do. And it's just fun to learn more as well, isn't it? Even if you don't apply it necessarily on a day-to-day, you can always take something from any experience, always, even if it's, I don't think I'll do things like that. At the very base level, there's always something to be learned from other people. So I just want to do that more and more and more, I think.
Now, here's a question for you. Do you ever switch off?
Yes and no, I do. Because I work, obviously Monday to Friday, and then in the evenings on Monday to Thursday, that's when I do my passion projects. So I do that, and my wife goes, she's a jewellery designer and maker. She works in her workshop at the bottom of the garden Monday to Thursday night as well. Then Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night is us hanging out together. And once I've come home and we've given Sully his dinner, and then bedtime, bath time, we cook dinner, we eat together, we watch a film or hang out together. So actually, that's 3 evenings, and that's a long enough time to reset. That means Sunday night, I'm genuinely excited to start the week again. Previously, I've got that balance wrong, and I think, which is really important to get it wrong. I think you have to get it wrong to know what's right.
Yeah, exactly.
And especially when I was working for myself, just would work all hours. But I'm really glad I've got that balance in place. And I mean, sometimes I think the worst thing is if you're working something late at night and then you go to bed straight away, you lie in bed, you finally get in bed and you think, it's late. Then your brain goes, right, let's think about that problem, shall we? Like, no, don't.
I'm going to give you a trick. So obviously don't work until late, because then you've got to give yourself 2 hours to unwind, haven't you? And just relax. Yeah, you've got to do that. You've got to stay away from screens before you go to bed and just relax. But the other thing is, if your mind is whirring, just open your bedside drawer if you have one, or put something that's different on the side, and then what you're saying to your brain is, I can remember that in the morning, because I'll wake up, I'll look at the open drawer and go, why is it open? Because I needed to solve that problem.
That's
and sometimes
nice.
That helps you pass out.
Oh, that's really good. I like that. Like a little simple trick.
It works for me.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah, you're tricking your brain into sort of that's important, that thing there, not let's solve the problems right now immediately. Just
put that on hold and open your little drawer and then off you go. And it's
especially
always
when
worked.
You're knackered as well, isn't it? Sometimes
I know.
When you sort of, I know I need to get to sleep, or I've got a busy day tomorrow.
I have this thing, if I'm really, really tired and I've got a big day in the morning, if I'm doing something, or if I'm travelling somewhere, catching a train, I'll never be able to sleep. It's so frustrating. I'll get to about 3 a.m. and then eventually pass out from tiredness.
Yeah.
And, it's one of those things. I think when you're a creative person, it is really difficult to switch off because we're just always thinking about being creative and coming up with ideas in our brain. And when we relax, we come up with even more ideas.
Yeah, I know,
because
just constantly.
It's just never ending. So do you have a rule in your house with your wife that you're not allowed to talk about work after
No, we're quite
work?
good. We're really good because I think Jane's work, she looks after our son full time, and so she's looking after him, and so she's fitting her work in the evening times, and so she's dealing with trying to find her pattern, find her times to make work at the minute, whilst she's looking after Sully before he goes to school in a couple of years. So that means she doesn't have that many hours to think about work. So actually, when we're home together, it's really nice. I don't feel like it's encroaching on anything. It's nice for us to talk about what her plans are, what she's going to do, and then I'm always excited about sort of sharing my projects or ideas, but then sometimes it is also nice. I do naturally feel like, I'm just going to leave that for the minute. And she's so supportive. I think that's a huge thing. If you do have a partner, for having a partner that is supportive of what you do and just understands that it's not linear, it's not binary. You sort of, at the weirdest times, you'll have an idea or a thought, or you'll just be struggling to express yourself properly with a sort of a creative problem, or it's not black and white, is it? It's not
teamwork, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not 2 and 2 equals 4. It's not sort of a right or wrong answer. So when you're in that profession where it's all subjective, that means things are a bit fuzzy sometimes. So I think having someone that understands the fuzz is a really good thing to have.
And how are you with your mental health? This is something I keep asking people because it's a big conversation at the moment. Do you ever sort of have your down days, and is it just norm?
I think it's really great that you're talking more and more about this, and I think it's just great that it just seemed like the dialogue for people's mental health is far more open than it was, which is fantastic. There's never going to be a bad downside to that people are more open to communicate.
It's good to empathise with each other and realise we're all the same, really.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm generally quite good. I try and just have a happy disposition all the time. I mean, I go through the natural up and downs like everyone else, you know, regularly on a weekly basis. I hate everything I've ever done and think I'm awful, which hopefully I think everyone does, right?
Yeah, gosh, I do, yes.
I started the week just going, what?
I'm rubbish, I'm never going to improve.
And you look at other people and you just think, oh, man. I just try and look out for that pattern and just try and sort of say to myself, well, that's just natural.
Is that why you stopped following me on Twitter?
Damn it, you know. And just sort of thought, you'll get over, it'll be okay. Everyone goes through this. You know the pattern. You've done this a million times before. Just don't worry about it. Just try and focus on getting out of it or just making something to take your mind off it. So I hopefully everyone goes through this, no matter what their level. Everyone just worries. Everyone compares.
But you make a really good point there. It's about, I think we're at an older age now. Not that I'm saying, you know, well, it does, doesn't it? It takes age and experience to get to this stage. When you sort of have those down moments, I actually sort of say to myself, okay, Katie, what you're going through is quite normal. It's quite natural. Yeah. You don't have to act upon these thoughts that are in your head. And I've changed my perspective on it. So I'll say, well, that's interesting that these thoughts, and I almost talk to them, that's interesting that you think about that chimp brain, because it is the chimp brain, isn't it? It's interesting that you're saying these things to me and they're not true and I don't have to act upon them. Yes. So it's almost like I mean, they do this in meditation, don't they? They say, try and imagine a train going in one ear, picking up all your thoughts and taking it out in the other ear, and just imagine doing that. So I just sort of say, okay, you're allowed to be down for about half an hour, but after that, you've just got to kind of, you know, let the rationale kick in and say, well, they're just thoughts, they're not reality. Yeah. They are just thoughts and they are in your head. I think having that internal dialogue is really important. Yeah. And sort of knowing when to listen to it and when not to, and having a bit of perspective, I guess, and what you're thinking, well, what's the point in that? And I don't like this and I don't like that. It's like, oh, hang on, your whole mindset here is a bit different. You're a bit grumpy, you're a bit down. Is that because you're feeling a bit frustrated? Is that because actually you didn't get enough sleep last night? Always trying to, I guess, take that further step back and get the perspective of, oh, hang on, this is why that pattern's emerged. This is why you're not feeling fulfilled or you're feeling frustrated. There normally are reasons. It's just trying to tune into it, I guess. And I think that's a learned thing, isn't it? And I think that does come with experience, learning to tune into who you are as a human and what your patterns are. And not being too hard on yourself as well, because we're all terrible for that. We're our own worst enemies. Yeah, I mean, just being kind to yourself. It's and I'm so glad people are talking about this more and more because it's incredibly important. There's that great line in do you know Idol was the band, Bristol band, funny enough. I think that, is it the song Samaritans? What's the line? I use it in a talk now. If you hang on, I've got to find it now, because it's a really good line, and it's really simple, and it's about sort of being kind to yourself. It's good to have these little kind of, mottos that we live by. I think so. And you've got to pick them wherever you can. Yeah, exactly. The line is, if someone talked to you the way you do to you, I'd put their tea through. Love yourself. Because that's the thing. Sometimes, you're so sort of harsh in yourself and you're so critical. If you said that to another person, they'd be like, what's your damn problem? You'd get in a fight with someone. But for some reason, that's okay to be kind of harsh on yourself. And I think that's another thing learned as well, to be kind to yourself and to try and just go, well, things get tough. Yeah, they do. And I think sometimes it can feel like everybody's against you. Yeah. Everybody's out to get you. Yeah. And you kind of think, oh God, people think I'm shit and I'm not good enough. Oh yeah. Well, often people don't think anything about you. That's the thing, isn't it? You're like, what will people think? They probably won't care. They're probably not in a bad way. No, not in a bad way at all. They're probably obsessing too much about themselves. Yeah, they've got their own problems and their own struggles, and they don't really care about the minutiae of your problems. Exactly. It's really funny because when you sometimes meet people in real life, they'll say, "Oh, you're not how I thought you'd be." I'm like, "What? Yeah. What do you mean? What does that mean?" Is it because I've got lots of followers on Twitter? Did you think I was going to be a twat?
Yeah. What does it mean? And they're like, they probably mean absolutely nothing by it. Just
I know.
Oh, you were different to my expectations. Wait, what?
Am I not fun enough?
Yeah. What's wrong? Tell me what's wrong. They're like, you're a bit full on. But why? Tell me why. Here's a survey. Yeah,
But it's true, isn't it? And that's another thing that's learned as you go along. You kind of think, well, actually, I don't have to live and serve by other people's opinions.
Yeah.
I just need to be who I am, embrace who I am, enjoy my work, and do what I want to do, do what I want, and don't be afraid to put stuff out there. Because what we do is so creative, so visual. When you put work out there, do you have that moment where you think, oh God, what if people think it's crap? Or are you just so, I suppose because you work somewhere so brilliantly like this and you've got such a great team and loads of amazing people, how could you ever actually, before you
I do. Yeah, of course. I always worry, I hope this is good. And often I'm very proud of it, but I'm proud of it, but I'm still worried,
Yeah.
I think I try, because I know that's really a trap to fall into. I know that's my brain. That's not really a useful emotion. It's not going to change the piece of work. It's not going to make me enjoy the release of whatever it is. It's only going to make me feel down.
Yeah.
So I try and use that energy to go, well, if you are worried about not being good enough, then you've got to make something else to get better.
Yeah.
Trying to sort of funnel or focus the energy and that emotion into a positive emotion, I guess, trying to divert it. So
Love
I think
that.
I'm trying to do that. And I mean, more and more, as we're talking about you playing piano, and I play the drums and I'm trying to do more and more music.
Oh, are you playing the drums now?
Yeah, I mean, I played them, oh my God, maybe 12 years ago, but I only play them on my own with no one else around.
Okay.
I've never played in a band. I've never played in front of anyone else. I'm really scared, but I love it, and I've just played them for ages. But more and more I do a lot of music production now, and I've got this thing called a MIDI Fighter 3D, which is a 16 button sequencer that I've connected to Ableton Live, and each button press triggers off samples and sound. So I built drum racks and instrument loops, and I bought it with the express intention of playing it live in the middle of one of my talks to force myself to just do it, because I'm not scared of talking. I really enjoy doing public speaking, but for some reason I'm really scared to make music noise in front of people, and I don't know why, because it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't affect anyone. It doesn't change anything. It's just a bit of fun, but it scares the life out of me. So I bought this unit because it's really mobile. The whole thing is I'm playing live, and in the middle of my talks I have this stupid bit where it's just an intermission. It's 20 seconds of nonsense. I don't tell anyone. I just play music and nonsense, and then I don't even address it. I just then carry on talking.
And does everyone laugh?
Yeah, because they're like, what's happening now? What the hell is this?
I love that.
But also because I don't announce it, it means there's no expectation. I don't say, I will now perform a piece of music for you, because they'd expect, if you say that, to be good, which I'm not. So that's interesting that
it's taking the pressure off, isn't it?
Yeah, I am scared of that side of creativity, where I shouldn't be. So I'm sort of trying to use any excuse to sort of force myself to do it, and just to get out there and
like
just
my podcast.
have confidence. Yeah, like you said, yeah.
Yeah, terrified.
Following your journey of saying I'm going to do it, and it was really nice. Almost seeing it in real time in your tweets of I'm thinking about doing this. I'm thinking about doing this. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And it's great.
I am doing it.
Yeah, and isn't it weird to say that you are a thing, or say you're doing a thing? That huge leap in confidence, and then you realise actually it's just semantics. It's just me saying it. But for you emotionally, it means so much.
It's been a real boost. It's been tiring as well, but in a kind of real positive way.
Yeah.
And for the first time in quite a few years, actually, I feel like I've got my sort of spark back.
Awesome.
So that's really nice. And the feedback I've had from people is like, oh, you're really good. You're a natural. And I'm like, I'm getting really tearful. And I turn around to my husband, Tom, my long-suffering husband, who's heard nothing but Creative Boom for 10 and a half years and is the most patient, lovely man in the world. And I just go, I've got a review on Apple Podcasts and somebody says I'm a natural.
I love that when you're just you're so overcome with emotion, and God bless those long-suffering partners who just are like, that's really nice, darling. And you're
I'm
like,
very
I've just had some feedback and it's all a bit much, and I'm It's really funny.
I feel like you and I are quite similar. Do you cry at adverts? Even,
I would cry at everything,
you
yeah.
know, any kind of like, what's it, the kind of certain kind of tones of a string.
Yeah,
of a violin,
man, yeah.
And I'm off.
And you get that, your throat is tight.
Oh, gosh.
And you're like, oh, God, it's got me. It's got me.
And Tom just finds it hilarious because he's like the least emotional person on the planet, you know, and very kind of centered. And I'm just like, oh, God.
It's just emotional.
It is.
I'm the same,
I'm loving the piano as well. That's like really boosting my confidence. Yeah. And it's just lovely. I'm not doing it for anything. I haven't got any kind of goal. I'm just following this app called Simply Piano.
Oh, cool.
I love it. And it gets me to play really
But I think it's real
tunes.
time. I think this is, I've sort of spoken to this more and more with people about music. And that's why I got into it as well. It's just press a key, instant.
I know.
Good, bad, don't know. Play next. Whereas sometimes creative stuff, you go through iterative processes, and of course music is iterative. But in terms of literal real time, you can kind of compose and create on any instrument, on the drums, on the piano, and electronically, whatever. It's
magical.
You can kind of you're shaping it in real time, and it's almost like you can find your confidence levels boost in real time. Whereas there's a bit of a longer process. Powerful. That's what I love about it.
It's just instant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be like a classical piano player.
Yeah.
I would say pianist, but I always end up saying penis.
It's close, isn't it? Too close.
It's too close.
I just really want to be a classical pianist.
I really want to be a penis, yes. Oh, for
Mom,
goodness
Dad,
sake.
this
is why I have to listen back to my podcast. Each one I have to listen to each episode, and I sometimes test them out on Tom and go, Tom, was that appropriate? Because he's got a better kind of, you know, grounding than I have, because I'm just a kind of nutcase that's just flouncing around the universe and putting my foot in it all the time. And he's like, no, you're fine. I'm like, oh, good. Do you think that was too emotional? Do you think I should take that bit out? And he's like, no, you're fine. But yeah, I played.
That's what's good. It's raw. It's you.
Well, I watched. Do you remember City of Stars?
No.
Not City of Stars. What am I talking about? La La Land.
Yes.
So that film, I watched that film, and that was the trigger for me where I started thinking I should really start learning piano, because I'd love to learn how to play City of Stars. And I'm following this app, and it introduces songs, and it starts off very basic, and it's wonderful, and you keep going. And then I'm like, 3 months in, and doing all these kind of nice pieces, and then all of a sudden it comes up, new song, City of Stars. And I went, I was all on my own. I'd been practicing in the kitchen for 2 hours, and I went, and I got it all up. And Tom came downstairs for a cup of tea, and he was sat in the reading chair we have in the kitchen, where I call it the reading chair because Tom just sits in it and reads. And I played this thing with my headphones on because it's a digital piano. And I played it. Da, 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 da. And I just started crying my eyes out.
Amazing.
And I turned around to Tom and said, oh, Tom, I've just played City of Stars. And he was like, oh, that's worth the Christmas present right there.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, it's just
That's
lovely.
the power of it, isn't it?
It's wonderful.
I think it's really cathartic. I got into the drums because I played Guitar Hero a lot, and I got obsessed with it in my early 20s.
Were you really good?
I was playing on expert. Like I think I got really obsessed. I was really trying to expert 100% everything,
Wow.
not the drums, on the guitar. And then I bought the next one because it was Guitar Hero 3 with the guitar that I really got into. And then I was obsessive fan, and then I got the next one, World Tour, which had the electronic crappy drum kit.
Wow.
And it was just so. I've always liked listening to the drums. I've always sort of picked them out just out of interest, just sort of had a keen ear for how drum sounds are, especially in hip hop and different breaks and stuff. And then it was a girlfriend many years ago, just in Bristol, sort of got me them as a present. And that was about 12 years ago. And I just love the energy of them, and I like a lot of heavy music. This is the thing, I can't watch anything visually heavy, any films.
Right.
But I love really heavy, dark.
Give us an example. What kind of bands are we talking?
Cattle Decapitation, Trap Them.
I find that so bizarre that you can't watch something that's
but heavy. Right, really kind of nasty.
Dark.
Nasty stuff. Dillinger Escape Plan. Just...
Pantera, stuff like that.
Yeah,
or is that,
anything sort of heavy. Just... And I don't know why, and I think it's the energy. So it's not the visuals, because I can separate the sound. It sounds heavy and dark and nasty. Nails is one of my favourite bands.
Oh, yeah.
No song is sort of longer than 2 minutes, and every album is under 15 minutes, and it's just noise. It's awesome. And it's heavy and it's stark and it's brutal. And I think it's just the release of energy. I think it's that sort of, actually, like everyone, I do feel frustrated and I am scared and I am, with the state of the world, there's lots of emotions to be feeling. But for me, the drums is an outlet. It's getting that smashing cymbals and just it's natural. It's that outlet, really. So I think that's why I love it. But then I just thought, you need to do more with this because you really enjoy it. Stop just playing on your own or with your drum teacher and just try and get out there. And so then I started into music production and stuff like that. So there's a lot to be said for music, I think, as sort of as therapy and as a way to unwind.
As keeping your kind of, giving yourself a chance to meditate, I guess. Yeah. Because I can imagine, can you meditate? Because I imagine you struggle with that.
I did go through a phase, actually, talking about mental health, quite a few years ago before I met my partner, where I was just quite low and I did a lot of mindfulness stuff and I went and saw a therapist for a few sessions, and that was... I really recommend that, even if there's not an event or there's not a trigger for you to go and see a therapist.
Everyone should probably go and see one.
I think it should be more people should. And I just remember the first session. You're nervous and you don't know what the situation is going to be like. And obviously, this very calm person starts getting you to talk about you. And I'm
a bit like this, really.
Yeah, this is therapy, isn't it?
Counsellor Cowan.
And I just do remember just afterwards, just breaking down. But because you've just sort of said everything, you've just released it.
Yeah.
And when you have that cry, that massive cry where you're like, this feels amazing and sad.
Yeah, because you piece things together, don't you, that you've never realised.
Oh, God, that's why I'm the way I am.
And that's why it's never worked out for me.
I know, it's so funny.
Anyway, we're being silly, but it's serious.
Yeah, it is. It's important to do a thing. Or helpful. It's not important. People might not want to go, and that's absolutely fine. Because
we don't burden our friends, do we? We don't go down the pub and say, oh, I'm struggling a bit this week, mate. What you do instead is talk about, like the maybe football or I don't know what you're into.
To distract, isn't it? Yeah.
Do you still skateboard?
No, God. I mean, I barely skateboarded at the time. As in, I loved it, and I love skateboard culture. I found amazing bands and amazing artists, and I love how skateboard companies run. I love the ethos. I sort of love the whole culture around it. But I started too late. I started when I was 18, which meant I had the fear, and I had a job. So if I broke my wrist or broke my legs, it would have a real implication, which I think subconsciously made me not try stuff. And I still went for it, but I just was not very good. But so I actually, funnily enough, my son was 3 a couple of weeks ago, and we hired out a skate park here in Bristol called Campus Pool, which is an old swimming pool, an old leisure centre that got abandoned.
Oh, wow.
And they took it over and concreted and basically turned the pool into a concrete pool skate park. And we hired it out for his third birthday. Sully had his scooter and I had my skateboard. So he was scooting around and he kept saying, "Chase me, Daddy, chase me."
With
so I was
fear.
Just carving around. It's like, this is that's skateboarding, just hanging out, just cruising with my boy. So I still love it. I still love skateboarding.
Is there any kind of missing thing that you still feel like you haven't addressed? Because it sounds like you've got pretty much worked out, Gav, and it's lovely to hear.
I just want to sort of see how far I could go, maybe. I want to... I don't think anything could get better than the Creepiest opportunity, but I'd like to make longer stuff. I'd like to make bigger stuff. I just kind of want to see where the world can take you creatively, and that's why I'm just trying to push and I try and connect the dots a lot. I think I try and just connect sort of disparate passion projects or ideas within those, and just thinking, okay, maybe I could do this one silly idea. I could make an event out of it, or maybe a series or a product or this or that. Just try and make bigger stuff and see where things can go. But I've never really had too much of a plan. Not really. Ambitions and desires and dreams, but never really formulated as a plan. It's just, I want to make more stuff. I want to learn more. I want to get better. I want to be a better creative, a better husband, a better dad, a better human, and just sort of see where it can take me, really.
Well, I think that's an amazing opportunity to wrap this up, and thank you for your time, Gav. It's been great.
Thank you so much for having me.
You've been listening to the Creative Boom podcast with your host, Katie Cowan. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe or leave us a review. Go to creativeboom.com/podcast to find out more.